KNBC-4 Los Angeles.
Arthur Godfrey, Matty Deutsch, Harvey Corman, Cleveland Avery, Wally Cox, Rosemary, Vincent Price, for Paul Lynde, all in the Hollywood Square. And here is the master of the Hollywood Square, Peter Martin.
Thank you, Kenny Williams. A very good morning. Welcome to the Hollywood Squares. Hello, stars. Children, if you are watching today and you see Vinnie Price flying over your house tonight, don't be afeared. It's just Halloween. Hey, what do you do on Halloween, Vincent? Anything special? Do you haunt your producers or something
Takes
like
off his mask and just goes around natural.
I didn't ask you, Ro.
I'm sorry, Pete.
You want to ask her?
No.
It's noontime, Tuesday.
A boy so far away from home brought his father along. You suppose that's because he ran away?
A story of adventure and the Underground Railroad as two brave boys make a run for freedom in the days before the Civil War. Watch Follow the North Star on the ABC After School Special.
Tomorrow afternoon here on ABC.
You know, Howard, both presidential candidates seem to agree on one thing at least. This is the clearest choice the voters have had in a long time.
And we'll report just how they choose in the most complete ABC News election night coverage ever.
1 week from tonight, here on ABC.
The bodies of 3 apparent murder victims have been found on a small farm in Northern California, and the state's Attorney General claims there is an increase in organized crime in California.
It is now anticipated that the treaty with the North Vietnamese will not be signed until after next Tuesday's American elections, and hundreds of inmates at a California prison have gone on strike, demanding such privileges as telephones and color TV.
This is Eyewitness News, the 4:30 report with Joseph Benty, John Schubeck, Stu Nahan, George Fishbeck, and the Eyewitness News team. On tonight's Eyewitness News, a special report by Larry Badger on a fire hazard that could be under your own roof. And Harold Green takes a look at a madcap Hollywood ball.
Elections. A presidential aide said the only deadline we're operating under is the one that will bring around the right kind of agreement. In Paris, communist negotiators criticized the delay, but again they used very low-key language, simply asking that the United States sign a treaty as soon as possible. As for Dr. Henry Kissinger, the president's chief foreign policy advisor, reporters expected him to turn up in Paris today, but he surprised them by turning up at the National Press Club in Washington instead to listen to a speech by New York's Governor Nelson Rockefeller. In Vietnam itself, the war on the ground today more furious than ever, almost as though no settlement is in sight. Communist attacks throughout the length and breadth of the country, and American B-52 bombers responded with a near record number of bombing raids on supply lines over the southern part of North Vietnam. In Da Nang, police have stepped up their drive against Viet Cong operatives and sympathizers. We have a report from Charles Burke.
About 500 miles north and east of Saigon, Da Nang is South Vietnam's second largest city. And although it appears at first more serene than the capital, it is actually considerably more tense and vulnerable. Security in Da Nang is handled by police. If travelers cannot produce identification cards, they are arrested, suspected of being Viet Cong trying to infiltrate the city to join their comrades. Later, a search of one of the city's hamlets results in contact, and after one policeman is killed by a hand grenade, others move in on the house in which it was thrown. It works, and police capture 2 suspected Viet Cong, girls about 18 years old with hand grenades on their belts. They will be interrogated for information on total Viet Cong strength in the hamlet. During their search, the police captured another suspect. He leads them to food supplies, and what is more interesting to police, to what appear to be enemy political documents. One of those documents was said to have been a copy of an order from North Vietnam telling the Viet Cong in the south to cease fire within the next few days. The document also reportedly calls for a political show of strength immediately after the ceasefire. Officials here in Da Nang interpret that to mean much Viet Cong flag waving, land grabbing, and perhaps even political parades. If true, the document fails to take into consideration one thing: the expressed reluctance of the South Vietnamese Army, at least here in Da Nang, to honor any enemy-initiated ceasefire. Charles Burke, ABC News, Da Nang, South Vietnam.
Israeli ground troops have been placed on a full-time alert all along Israel's border with Syria, following yesterday's air raids against guerrilla bases near Damascus, Syria. And in Tel Aviv, the first evidence of Arab reprisals came when a bomb exploded on the third floor of Israel's tallest building. 3 persons were injured, and police called it political sabotage. The Jewish Defense League in Los Angeles demonstrated in front of the new criminal courts building today. Our reporter Henry Alfaro covered the story.
The members of the Jewish Defense League are protesting the arrest and trial of 2 of their members. 21-year-old Bob Manning and 19-year-old Phil Zwig are accused of bombing an Arab's home in Hollywood. The incident took place last September. No one was injured. Members of the JDL claim the charges against the 2 men are false.
We believe it was the work of rival Arab factions in Los Angeles.
You believe, but are you convinced?
We are convinced by information through our intelligence sources. We believe the city also knows this as a fact.
Why are they being tried then?
Purely as scapegoats to appease the Arab factions in Los Angeles. And also, someone called it never again after the bombing.
The trial of Manning and Zwig resumes November the 30th. And members of the Jewish Defense League vow their support. This is Henry Alfaro reporting for Channel 7 Eyewitness News in downtown Los Angeles.
Next up, a report on a modern convenience that could be a fire trap.
Everything you always wanted to know about sex, but were afraid to ask. If you want to know how Woody Allen made a movie out of this book, you'll have to see the movie. Rated R.
Starts tomorrow at a theater or drive-in near you.
Margaret, I never knew you had legs before.
I've got legs.
She's got legs, the super stretching, super fitting pantyhose.
No more wrinkles at the ankles.
I hate wrinkles at the ankles. Margaret.
No more bagging when I'm bending.
Our legs fit your legs, they hug you, they hold you, they never let you go.
I've got legs.
Reported the tree couldn't make it. He says headquarters has sent him back again to make absolutely sure it's too big for the 14.6-foot clearance of a coast highway bridge. It's about 22 feet from the bottom of the roots now to the top, it looks like. What are the chances of moving it on the highway at all?
Well, we haven't had a chance to actually check the dimensions exactly, but it doesn't look to me like it's going to go under the Castle Lamar Bridge, which was the obstacle we saw in the first place.
So maybe the United States Army will come to the rescue and float this old tree up the ocean to Malibu. The tree movers, meanwhile, insist that they can still get it up the highway. But one thing is certain, this old beauty is going to set down new roots in the suburbs of Malibu. This is Fred Anderson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, Hollywood.
They can float a major ship that weighs 20,000 tons up the coast. They can certainly do it with a much smaller tree. Next up tonight, Dick Carlson and Andy Park with special reports on important elections in Los Angeles and Orange counties.
Here's a hamburger offer that can't be beat. The Pepsi Snack Tray Special, now at all Carl's Jr. restaurants. You get a big quarter-pound Carl's hamburger, French fries, and a Pepsi, served on this attractive Tiffany-style snack tray and tumbler. The whole order costs only $1.10, and you keep the snack tray and tumbler free. Eat here or take it home. It's the Pepsi Snack Tray Special, only at
Carl's Jr. It's out of this world.
When the job is done, this guy'll be ready to dig into something mighty good to eat.
How do you handle a hungry man? The manhandlers.
One of the manhandlers is Campbell's Vegetable Beef. Gets a man-sized supper off to a good hot start. Good.
The manhandlers.
Several leading doctors report common stomach distress is often caused by trapped gas. Churning bubbles cause heartburn, pressure, stuffiness. Right here, antacids alone can't dissolve bubbles, but Digel can. Digel combines antacids plus simethicone that breaks up bubbles. Look, Digel with simethicone dissolves bubbles away. Heartburn, pressure, stuffiness go fast. Digel relieves both excess acid and gas for more complete relief.
Introducing the name caller, automatic telephone dialer. It memorizes 38 phone numbers, including emergency numbers like police, fire, and doctor. Move the selector to the name and push the button. The rest is automatic. Hello, Monica? Meet me at the airport. We'll take my Learjet. Bye, baby. The name caller. Fantastic.
A new California law is going to be tested tonight. It's a law designed to crack down on those who spike the treats given to trick-or-treaters on Halloween. The so-called Halloween law makes it a felony to give children treats that contain any kind of ingredients that could be dangerous to the children. And anyone found guilty under the law faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison.
You couldn't wait to get to Australia, because there's a kind of gusto out here you won't find anywhere else in the world. Like turning a life-saving drill into a festival and sport. You want to be part of it, because you know one crack at life is all you get. So you gotta make it good. Yeah, the Aussies share your love for gusto in everything, even in beer. Schlitz, the taste of home you never have to give up. It feels sort of good to be with men who won't settle for second best. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
I do a lot of baking from scratch. Things just taste better. Bisquick? Oh, that's what I use. I know some people think it's a mix, but really, from just one box of Bisquick, you can make any of 100 good things. Now, what kind of a mix does that? Besides, I add all my own touches. So to me, baking with Bisquick is baking from scratch. At least it tastes like it is.
If it tastes like from scratch, it's from scratch.
3 weeks ago, I bought my girlfriend a JCPenney candle making kit for just $9.99. I haven't seen her since. Now all she wants to do is stay home and make candles. Sure, the kit has everything. Plenty of wax, colors, scents, pouring molds, even a thermometer so she can't make a mistake while she's creating. And it is fun, and the candles are great, but this is too much. A bayberry mushroom. Just what I've always wanted.
The state of California has sued actress Hedy Lamarr for $26,000 in back income taxes for the years 1966, 68, and 69. According to the suit, the 57-year-old Miss Lamarr now lives in a hotel in New York and for the past several years has been supporting herself by auctioning off furniture, her wardrobe, and other possessions. Our Harold Green last night was right in the middle of the Hollywood scene, an affair attended by a lot of people who are celebrities in their own way. It was a Halloween rock party, or you might say, as they did, a Halloween freakout.
Columbia Records billed it as the Freakers' Ball, and much of Hollywood's rock music establishment was there, including Little Orphan Fanny. Leopard Woman. A Guy in Search of Soul. Rock is big business these days, and the rock music industry now rivals the movie industry as the in scene in Hollywood. A party of this type is for today's young people what a star-studded costume ball was to Hollywood 30 years ago. The whole thing was a clever promotional gimmick to unveil the new Columbia recording group Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. the surface, this might look somewhat bizarre or freakish, but it really isn't when you stop to think that most of these folks came straight here from work. Harold Green for Channel 7's Eyewitness News.
Good news from Oster.
Is it a fondue? A tempura? A casserole? A chafing dish? No, it's Super Pan. And Oster's new meal maker is all these in one. It's a fondue for cheese, beef, or desserts. And it's a tempura with precise heat control for cooking and serving. It's a chafing dish with non-stick Teflon for easy cleaning. And it's a buffet server with decorator colors in real porcelain-clad aluminum. Oster puts it all together so you can put together appetizers, soups and chowders, casseroles and main dishes, vegetables, salads, desserts, from simple to spectacular. Even popcorn.
New as tomorrow.
That's Super Pan, the new Oster buffet cooker server at leading housewares departments.
And I'm not one of these professionals. I'm just, a rank amateur.
Joe, the guy walked into my office about 4 o'clock and says he's going to win this course. He worked out on this course today, and it's made to order for him. Now he's sitting there with all humility.
I'm hopeful, seriously.
He's a very humble fellow.
I hope for the best, but I expect the worst. Seriously, I know you're a coin collector, but not the kind of coin collector that I'm talking about when I say there was a bonanza found in a Washington basement for coin collectors. That story in a moment. Notice how I made that smooth transition?
When 3 bears wake you up, just like that, your hair really needs help. So I use a little Alberto VO5 hair dressing with natural conditioners to make my hair lively and manageable. And then I spray with Alberto VO5 hairspray with the all-day hold, because I only get one chance to look good all day. And let's face it, when your name is Goldilocks, your hair is where it's at.
Alberto VO5 hair dressing and hairspray. Happy endings for your hair.
On a day like this,
Bring all the sun in. Bring all the sun in.
Windex with ammonia D makes everything shine brighter. It polishes chrome, brightens stainless steel, makes enamel sparkle, and gives things you never thought of the same bright shine it gives your windows.
Bring all the sun in. Let it shine it on you.
Bring all the sun in with Windex.
The Datsun 510 has just won its second straight 2.5 Trans Am championship. This one is specially modified for racing, but we did start out with the same superior sedan you'll find at your Southern California Datsun dealer. The overhead cam engine, the safety front disc brakes. I believe the Datsun 510 sedan to be the best value on the road today, and I know a little bit about cars. My name's John Morton. I race them.
Take a test drive at your nearby Southern California Datsun dealer. Drive a Datsun, then decide.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says you have to vote. But there's plenty in here to convince you that you should. Time, the weekly news magazine.
I have a habit of doing that, always leaving out the most important facts. I should have mentioned it. It's at the El Dorado Golf Club in Long Beach. If you want it.
Coin collection?
No, not. I'm going to talk about that in a moment.
Oh, the football game.
The Queen Mary Long Beach Open, guys. About the coin collecting. Anybody who collects coins knows that any silver dollars minted in Carson City, Nevada are at a premium. A virtual bonanza, though, was discovered in a Washington, D.C. building, and it's certainly enough to gladden the hearts of many collectors, as Joe Templeton reports.
It was in the Treasury Building in 1964 that government officials found close to 3 million Carson City silver dollars stored away in the basement. They somehow had escaped the massive coin melts during the First World War. The coins, sure to be collector's items, are now going on sale to the public.
The silver in these coins was mined from the rich Comstock lode during the Bonanza era. The silver was mined into dollars at the famous Carson City Mint in Nevada. The mint closed its doors in 1893, never to mint a coin again. Due to the short life of the Carson City Mint, the double C mint mark became scarce. Each of these dollars bears that famous mint mark, and they have never been circulated.
The initial sale will consist of coins minted in 1882, 83, and 84. They'll have a minimum bid price of $30. The public bid period will end next January 31st. Order forms will be available at post offices and banks. Government officials say they want the coins to go to as many citizens as possible and not fall into the hands of big dealers. So a person may bid on only one coin for each of the years being offered. What would make a better conversation piece than a Carson City silver dollar, a true remembrance of the Old West? Joe Templeton, ABC News, Washington.